Every Thursday afternoon, our soon-to-be priest, Aldrin, and I have a sit-down formal meeting for an hour. Now, Aldrin and I live together, we work together in the parish, we eat meals together and pray together every day. So why, you might wonder, do we need to schedule an extra hour for a formal meeting? Well, we listen to what Jesus says in the Gospel today. We hear really practical advice from Jesus about conflict resolution. And Jesus gives a 4-step plan for how to resolve conflict. He says, firstly, if someone has done something wrong to you, he said, go and have it out with them alone, one-on-one. Secondly, if that doesn't work, then take 1 or 2 witnesses with you and talk to them again. Then, if they don't listen to the 2 or 3 of you, then report them to the whole community. And fourthly, if they don't respond at all, then expel them from the community. Now, that's quite specific to the time and place Jesus was speaking in, perhaps, but also is quite good, clear advice for us. And yet, in my experience, I've never needed to use step 4 or 3 or even 2 if step 1 is done well. And yet so often we don't do step 1 very well. So often I think we all find it hard to speak clearly to another person in a timely and gentle way when we feel like we've been hurt or something important is at stake. Something I've observed over years of working with people in their marriages is that even very good marriages, very good relationships, and perhaps actually friendships as well, can suffer from having underlying resentments and hurts that perhaps were triggered by something said or done years before, or something small that happens again and again that niggles at them. When you're having an argument or you're having a fight about something, you can't then go and bring that issue up. It seems like sour grapes. But then when things are going well, you don't want to bring that issue up either because, well, things are going well. Why make a problem? And so often these resentments just linger, but do undermine a good relationship. There's some wonderful marriage enrichment programs such as Smart Loving and Marriage Encounter, though, which create a safe place for people to reflect on what ways that do I feel I have let my spouse down or have I been hurt by them, and creates a safe place for us to speak lovingly and address them. And that's important, to lovingly speak these things. That's why Aldrin and I create an hour together every week to do that. It's really important that we have a space to be able to talk about anything that might be problematic or challenging. If there's anything I see Aldrin doing that's maybe not best practice for a budding young priest, that's a chance that I can speak to him, and Aldrin knows that anything important will come up there rather than over breakfast or dinner or in public. And likewise, it's very hard to challenge your boss, and if you live with them, all the more so. But that becomes a safe place for Aldrin to know he can speak up to me of anything that he's unhappy with in the parish, or particularly with what I might be doing. So that scheduled hour becomes a really important place. And there's nothing wrong, we're getting on great, please don't read anything into this. It's a preventative measure, and Sam French and I did the same thing last year as well. So it's important then that we do create these safe places, and moreover, I guess, adopt Jesus' attitude of speaking directly to a person when we feel that something's been done wrong. Firstly, we need to do it in private. We can praise people publicly, but critique people in private. And then it's important we maybe find ways to use I statements rather than you statements. Rather than saying, you always do this, or you've made me feel this way, say, I feel this. Here's what I'm experiencing. And then you can reflect back to the other person what role they play. But taking ownership for and responsibility for our feelings is a big part of this. That's often hard because it's admitting to the other person that I'm a bit vulnerable before you. You have some power to influence me, and often that can be a hard thing to do in difficult relationships. Well, what then makes this a sermon, a homily, a Christian homily, rather than just relationship advice you might find anywhere on YouTube? It's this. We also need to go to prayer with our problems in relationships, to use at the end of every day to reflect with God, not just in our own heads, but reflect with God on how my day has been. And to ask God to show me. I say, God, please reveal to me how I've been this day. And then God can help show me any insights I might need to have. And then I can bring any strong emotion I'm feeling. If I'm still lingering a hurt or a sadness about something at the end of the day, to bring that to God in prayer and to speak gently as I would with a friend to Jesus in prayer. And I find that when I do that again and again, then I gain a better clarity and insight into my actions and my response to another person's actions. When I've done this, then I'm in a safe place to go and speak to the other person the next day, rather than me reacting out of my own anger or sadness or insecurity. Often things happen badly when we do that, whether it's face-to-face and particularly when we react online in public. So if we use this process of taking our experiences and our problems to prayer firstly, then we're in a good place to follow Jesus' next step. Go and see someone. Make time and say, hey, can we talk about something, please? Whether that's your spouse, your friend, your employee, your employer, someone else. To make time to speak honestly, lovingly, having sifted through our experience in prayer, is the way Jesus invites us to defuse conflict and to build strong and holy relationships.